What's up, guys? Well, spent the past 2 days working on getting my jointer going, and it's it was nothing but a pain. I finally bypassed the switch on the jointer and hooked my transformer up to the motor directly and got my phase converter, which is the box and the motor. Turned those on, plugged in the power cord to the transformer, and then joiner fired up. So before that, I was having issues with it not wanting to turn on, which I assumed was something in with the starter. And then also a couple of times, which was kind of odd, when I'd plug in the unit or the transformer and jointer, I would blow the breaker or trip the breaker. That happened a couple times. The first time when I hooked the transformer straight to the motor, plugged it in, and it ran good, ran for a while. Did a couple of passes with the lumber that I've got sitting on the jointer currently. However, it's still having the issue where occasionally I plug it in and it trips the breaker. So I read online on one of the forums where, especially with this transformer being a big kilovolts, 45 kilovolts, it's going to have a big amp draw, and that's causing the circuit to trip. So I was just pissed off enough that I deleted all my footage of me working on it. And now I'm just selling everything. So sell my jointer and the transformer. I'm done messing with it. I'll get a 220 volt jointer. So I'm kind of at that point where I'm pissed off. So since I spent the last couple days working on that, a little bit on my truck, I've got to really focus on what I need to do with the garage and organizing and coming up with a plan. So when you approach doing a plan, you've got to have an end goal or figure out what your problem is and find the correct problem and the correct solution. There's been times where people will find a solution to something that's not the actual problem. They just think that it was the actual problem. So for an example on that, let's say I believe that my problem with organizing in the garage is that I don't have enough space, and I keep telling myself I need more space, I need a bigger garage. Well, I could come up with a plan to fix that. However, if that wasn't the actual problem, and the actual problem was that I had too much stuff and I needed to get rid of stuff, that would have been the easiest solution to that problem, as well as I would have been focusing too much efforts on creating more space instead of getting rid of stuff. So that's an example, or at least one example, on finding the right problem or finding whatever is the problem. Works with businesses as well as individuals. So right now, I think my number one is thinking, if I have too much stuff. Okay, so too much stuff. Then I have to say, what do I get rid of? All right, and then as I look around, I've got the dust collector. I could say, do I want to keep it or do I actually need it? Well, I guess I could sweep up after every time I do woodworking, but that's not really going to help me in the long term, so I'm going to have to keep that. I do have some lumber, some 6x8 by like 4 to 5 feet over there, and I could I could get rid of that. So let me just write lumber can go. Let's do 6x8. 6x8 lumber can go. It is nice to have it. It is. I can use it on a project. I've actually used those to make a coffee table. So, but I wasn't able to sell it, and so I stacked all that lumber back up over there. Actually, all I did was put the 6x8 lumber on a cart. I called it a coffee table, and it really didn't sell, even though a lot of people liked it. My price was too high. Nobody really tried to negotiate down, just because I had it listed at like $3,000. But hey, you can't go up, but you can always go down in pricing. So I can actually, I've got a friend who may want it, so I'll ask him. So that can go my tool cart. It's helpful. So my tool cart, I don't know. I'm 50-50 on that, so I'll write 50-50 on getting rid of it. But it's holding a lot of nice stuff. So yeah, I've got no idea. If I had an outdoor storage, if I had a place, I would keep it. So I don't know. The bandsaws. I got two 14-inch bandsaws. And they both need to be sold. Sell those mother truckers. Okay, what is it going to take to sell? One of them I need to get the pulley for. It's in my truck. I keep forgetting to go and get it. So let's do that as A1. A1 tomorrow. Go get pulleys for bandsaw. Alright, so now I got my first plan for tomorrow to help me get rid of a machine. So the other bandsaw, I can list it as is, so I'm going to do A1 as well, and I'm going to write tonight. I can list that tonight on Craigslist. Bandsaw. List it for sale. That one does need a little bit of work, but I'm not going to put any more work into that particular machine. So the other one's already rebuilt. I've already rebuilt a bearing, or put new bearings on, new tires, new this, new that. The only thing I did not finish was getting the pulleys. So I've got a metal cutting saw up there. I think I need to keep that for some projects I have coming up, one of which is to cut the metal for my clothing rack that I've got to finish. So that's kind of important, but it's like it'll help me organize my bedroom, my closet, and that kind of stuff, all my clothing. So it's high on my list, but I feel like this garage is what takes the precedence right now. So I've got this big outfeed table. I'm like looking around and there's nothing. Fuck. And this is what I do. I don't know what to do with all this. And really, there's not a whole lot left in here. I've gotten rid of so much already. So, and I do keep bringing a couple. I've got my exercise bike in here now because I can't use it in the house because it'll wake up my roommate, and it's like, I can't keep waking him up just to use it. So I brought it outside to use it, and it just ended up back in here because it rained, and I didn't want my bike sitting out in the rain ruining that. Like everything else that I leave outside gets ruined. I've got a big heavy bag in here now, punching bag. I have no place for that either. Like why did I get it if I knew there was no place? Paid $50 for it. It's a full length, full body length for doing like jiu-jitsu, kickboxing, or not jiu-jitsu, Muay Thai kind of stuff. So all these power tools under the desk. The power tools I can sell, I've listed them. They don't sell. For some reason, power tools don't sell well on Craigslist. Maybe at yard sales. I don't do enough yard sales. Actually, I listed 2 different yard sales ads before, and both times I didn't have people come out. It's kind of, I thought people liked going to garage sales. You always hear people talking, oh, I love garage sales, blah, blah, blah. You go to them, there's a lot. But when I listed garage sales, nobody came. Kind of irritating. So the people down the street from me, they get all kinds of people on yard sales. I thought about dropping my tools off to them and asking them to sell them for me, but I kind of don't trust many of the neighbors in this area. So, and then everything on that shelf has to go into, I want to rebuild the cabinet. So I need to make parts cabinet out of plywood. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to have the drawers, and then on the bottom of on the bottom drawer, I'm going to do 1.5 inch thick bottom drawer. So I'm going to use 2 3/4 inch sheets of plywood, glue them together, probably have a couple strips of hardwood in there to help support it. That way I can put all the motors and the heavy stuff in the bottom 2 drawers, and then also use those rails that'll handle heavy weights, and then custom build those to fit my motors. And I might be able to throw the power tools in one of those drawers because there's a couple down there I want to keep, like the grinder. I've got that big, like you have your handle here, kind of a metal grinder. And then I've got a hammer drill as well. I got a great price on them. So that's kind of nice. It's like the hammer drill, big Bosch hammer drill. I paid $40 to $45 for it, and that one retails for a little over $3,000. Or not $3,000. What a freaking idiot! I think it's like $350 around there on the price. And then I've got a bigger Milwaukee one as well that I paid, I think, $15 for. That one's sitting in my dad's house right now. So I've got some cast iron table, cast iron wings for a table saw, just like side tables. And I was wanting to bolt those together and build a welding table with them, so that when I get into the metal / woodworking, or doing woodworking with metal involved, I'll be able to have a place to weld. So I need the space, but I don't want to get rid of them because I'm going to need them. And that's the frustrating part. So I'm frustrated beyond all things on here. So like the big stuff I can't get rid of. And then like so maybe at this point everything that I can get rid of I got rid of, and since I'd be and starting to be more irritated by all of this and not sure what to do. I think it may be time to get a addition bolt onto the back like I was planning. Especially since I've got to park my freaking forklift in here to keep the city inspector from pissing me off and telling me that I can't have stuff sitting outside of my garage. So this bandsaw here, boom, this one that'll go to a friend, and then as soon as I get rid of that one, I'm bringing in a 20-inch, so that's something else I have to bring in here. It is one that I did plan on keeping, so that's pretty good. All right, so another thing, so I guess I gotta start thinking on building stuff. Like I've got the new clamps that I just bought. I have some other clamps that I've had for a while, and all of those C clamps that I did a video on. I originally wanted to hang them on the wall, and I've got some angle iron cut. I got it 1 foot sections of angle iron cut, and I was going to weld them to I've got a long rectangle. It's actually about 10 to 12 feet long, and it's just like a 1/8 of an inch flat steel, about so wide. And then I was just going to weld the the little V channel or L channel, not channel, L brackets. Basically, it's similar to that. And I was just going to weld them coming off in the V shape. That way I could set my clamps on them, and then I'll just have this 12 foot long, 10 or 12 foot long clamp rack. And I'll bolt it up on the wall, so that'll all be up there. And then I technically have 3 of those the big flat pieces of steel, so I could do a few if I need to make more hangers for something other than clamps. I can use that as well. I do have other metal on the back of the garage that I can use for things also if I need to make shelving on the wall. So one thing that'd be really nice is if I could make a mobile bases for all my equipment and just roll them, just push them all up and just move them whenever I need to use them. Of course, that'll be annoying as hell having to do that. So it'd be nice to have just a permanent location, but can't have everything we want sometimes. So and then I could sell my motors. That would help. So let's do the build clamp rack. And that I can do as a B1. So your A level is stuff that needs to be a priority of get it done now. B is you can procrastinate on it. You can do that when all your A projects or goals or things that you need to get done. You move down to the B, and then C, and then anything that you can delegate or pay somebody else to do for you. You should do that just so you have more time to do your higher priority items on your list. So build the clamp rack. I need to build my drawer system. So that'll be that one I'm going to put at A as well. I need to do that before I do the clamp racks. This bandsaw, it's not taking up much space, and if I get rid of that, I have to bring another one in. So I don't know what to do. So I guess I can just throw it against another wall, just have 3 bandsaws back there. So, but it'll help Tony out because he needs the space in his garage. So I'm kind of burdening him with a 20-inch bandsaw currently. So we'll say move bandsaws. That's a A1. So what else? All this lumber. I can't get rid of the lumber because it's got to be a project that I can sell, but it's in the way. So maybe I can set it on the jointer. So A1, I can do that after this video. Move lumber onto jointer. And then if somebody comes to look at the jointer, I can move it, show them the jointer, they can buy it, and then I'll have that much space. Or if they don't buy it, I can put the lumber back on there. So, yay me. And these other file cabinets or parts cabinets I can get rid of. They're already listed for sale. So parts cabinets, I can find a better place for them. And actually I got rid of some stuff that was behind these 3 parts cabinets. I may be able to clear that up to put these over there. So that could be helpful. They would stack on top of the other ones, but I really don't want to have to get on a ladder to get into a parts cabinet because that'd be a pain in the butt. So I don't know. I does not know. So let's see. What do you guys think of this? Look at all that on my table saw. Look at all that crap. So yeah, where am I gonna put all of that? There it goes. Okay. So there's a new priority right there. Like, where do I put that? Where do I put that? I don't know. So I guess that is a that's a biscuit jointer. So I can move all woodworking power tools into one parts cabinet. Up, like the whole entire cabinet is only used for woodworking power tools. That would make sense. That way I'm not digging through metalworking or automotive power tools to get to the woodworking tools. Okay, so that's one thing that'll help. And actually, I can put the air tools in with them, like the air nailers as well. So that would be good. And then all the drill bits, all the bits, I guess, just the other random tools I can put in another one. So make second wood parts cabinet. Okay. And that would probably help with a little bit. So, because I've got a couple things on the my shelf up top that are woodworking. I've got a little jig that you can drill door handles and lock knobs. I've got Craig jigs up top, so those can all move into the drawer system, and then other things that I don't have a place for, I can throw up top. So that'll be that'll help with that part of the organization. So I need more. Eventually, I will need more lumber racks. So, and I definitely want to update this stuff. I don't like having to pull them long ways down and out. It's really a pain in the butt. It's always nicer just to put it right onto the shelf, and that's how most people have done them. Is just I built this thing quick just to get the lumber off my floor. So it was just going to be a temporary thing like 2 years ago, and it's been up there since. So need to update that. But that's also going to take some pretty good effort, as well as I'm going to have to find a place for all that lumber while I rebuild this racks. So, and I kind of did want it back there, but it's looking like that's not going to happen. And as well as if I built it back there, I would need something like most of the time they like, I don't know if it'd be easier to draw it. So you got your stud. How the fuck do I draw this? Sorry guys, I'm not really sure what I'm doing here. Okay, so number comes off. I can't even draw it, honestly. It's like you've got a piece of 2x4 coming straight out from. Okay, let's do it the easy way. Let me just freaking show you guys. So, and it's too dark over here. Okay, so like right here, we've got the 2x4 coming straight off the stud. So, you technically when they build them, you go onto the 2x4 itself, or let's say you'll have another one coming up this way, and on the other side that goes into the like back behind here, and then you would bolt it like sandwich the stud, and then you would also sandwich onto the actual shelf for your lumber. And so with the drywall already on this side, I can't do that style. So I would have to come up with a different system. So either way, it's something I will have to do. So I don't know. I guess that'll be one of those things when I have the time, and when it comes time for it, I can do it. But keeping it on my mind so that I don't screw myself over when it's time to do it and have to go through this whole ordeal again. So but like the green machine back here, gotta keep it. Planer, gotta keep it. Radio alarm saw, gotta keep it. My vise, I gotta keep it. Tin machine, I'm gonna keep it. So everything in here is keeping. So I guess I already thought about that because I was looking at what I can do instead of getting rid of stuff. It's like, where do I put stuff? Where? So as I'm looking up at my shelf, there's a shelf. I've got some paint and stain and sealer up there for doing woodworking. So I'm going to need a shelf or cabinet for paints and varnish and stuff. So need a shelf for that. Okay, so I'll need those done. What else? That's all I got. So I don't know. I don't know what to do. Like, I've got this folder. So I guess I can put the paperwork. I got rid of my my desk and file cabinet that I had inside the house. Just because even inside my house, I don't have enough room for everything. So I just got rid of it. It was sitting in my kitchen because that was the only place I had for it. My house is right around 700 square feet. It may be 750, so pretty tiny. I don't see how people could live in a tiny house. Honestly, there's no way I could do it unless I had like a 3,000 square foot garage. That'd be helpful. So I guess I could put the paperwork in my safe. I'm not using it for guns, so it's just empty space. So might as well just throw paperwork in there. I do have a couple other pieces of paper in there, so the ammunition for my 45, that's in there. But what else? What else can I do? I see a box over there I can get rid of. Throw that box away. That'll clear up a little 1 square foot area. So Yep. Pretty cool. I can sell my motors, list them for sale. Might as well. Might as well get rid of them. I may need them. Screw it though. I'm not using them now. Just get rid of them. So sell motors. And then let's see what else can I do. Find a place for everything. How do you find a place for everything? If you don't have a place for something, where do you put it? And I hate having a junk drawer. You shouldn't have one, should you? Just throw everything in a junk drawer. When you finally have a place for it to go someplace, then you can take it out of the junk drawer and put it in there. However, that really doesn't tend to work. So, all right. Find a place for everything. It was kind of something I did when I cleared out the kitchen. I just took everything that didn't go in there and brought it out here. So I was like that paperwork and stuff. So I had no room in the house, so I was like, oh, I'll just stick it in the garage, find a place for it out there. So my office, like the tool or the pens, staplers, that kind of stuff, I brought out here. So I put them in my desk. Didn't want to use the desk for that, but where else am I going to put it besides in the trash can or out here or on another place taking up space inside? So I'll end up needing a pen, so might as well have a place for pens. So, well, that's basically what I go through on a daily, trying to figure out what to do, where to put stuff, how to clean. And I'm like this with my kitchen, with my bedroom, the living room, the basement, and it's been just an irritating, annoying, just exactly what you see, and I hate it. So maybe one of these days I'll have a solution that I can patent or a process that will help you guys figure out how to do your place as well. So I'm sure I'm not the only one. But thanks for watching the video. I'm pretty sure you skipped through most of this 40-minute video, and like I said, just subscribe if you want me to be the example on how hard it is and what it takes to get through this stuff, and to focus on planning, daily discipline stuff, and everything else. So thanks again, and don't forget to troll me in the comments section.